This episode, we're going to discuss Shopify Unit Economics. Sales is not the same as profit. It starts with revenue. You get an order, someone pays you for the product or products. They also might pay you for your shipping. But from that comes out your product cost, also known as cost of goods sold, your cost of shipping. There may be some transaction fees. Credit card transaction fees are typically somewhere around 3%. And there also might be some marketing costs that went into getting that order. So it's good to really work out your unit level economics on products, on orders, maybe certain product categories, and even by channel, possibly Amazon or other channels that you might be selling through. It's really vital to understand exactly how the profitability is working for your business. What unit level economics shows is how healthy your business really is. It's going to show you your profitability at the product level and really help you to determine what's worth selling and maybe some things that are not worth selling. It's going to help you understand exactly how the profitability works on the product level, on the overall order level. If people commonly buy more than one thing from you at a time, it's really vital to understand both the product level and the average order level, how that profitability looks. Even from the customer standpoint, you need to be able to determine what is a new customer worth to you. And that ties right back into the unit economics for the typical order that a new customer might place, as well as how many orders they may place over time. It's known as the lifetime value of your customer. Unit economics connects all these pieces: price, cost of goods sold, shipping costs, shipping revenue, processing fees, and marketing expense. You really need to nail this stuff down and have working models for your unit economics before you attempt to scale. Because if you're losing money at the unit level, if you attempt to scale, you're just going to lose money faster. So start with the order math. It begins with your sale price of the products. What is the revenue that was collected for the products? Also, if you're charging for shipping, how much shipping revenue did you collect? So that's sort of the top line, just revenue in terms of product and shipping. From that, you take away the product cost, also known as cost of goods sold. You should have this inside of Shopify. There's a field at the product level inside of Shopify. It's just cost, and that's where you input however much you're paying for the cost of the products. Also, your shipping cost. If you label your orders through Shopify, there's a report that will just show you for each order how much that cost you to ship out. Also, make sure you understand what you're being charged for processing fees. Again, it's pretty close to 3% on Shopify. And then also, this one is more of a variable, but just on average, how much are you paying for marketing? The way to think about it is not SEO or anything from free channels. It's just paid advertising. So if you're doing Meta ads, Google ads, and so on, you'd want to really get a beat on average, what are you paying as a cost per acquisition for all those channels. So start with those fundamentals and just model it out in Google Sheets or Excel or whatever your preferred spreadsheet is. It's important to know this because it's if you're just focused on revenue, it can be very misleading. And I've been very guilty of this in the past with my businesses. An order that collects $80, so it's an order that shows up in Shopify one morning, it's for $80. You think that's great, I have $80 now that I can reinvest in the business. But after you remove your cost of goods, could be like $28, maybe your shipping cost is $9. You spent about $2 in your packaging, boxes, tape, material, labels, and so on. Processing fees could be another $3. Maybe the product or the marketing acquisition cost could be, say, 18. You're walking away with $20 gross. Of course, the sum of all of your orders, if they're all bringing in roughly $20 of gross profit, then after you cover all of your fixed expenses, say rent, labor, subscriptions, and so on, you might need a lot of those $20 gross margin orders in order to pay for all your fixed expenses. So modeling this is really vital because it not only helps you understand are you profitable at the average order level or even for particular products, but it helps you understand how many orders do you need to cover your fixed expenses and how viable is this business overall. So it will really help you tune in the areas that need the most attention. Break-even point is going to be vital to all this. It's going to show you how much room you have. And you can play with these scenarios. So when you model your unit economics, it's not, I mean, there's two facets. One is literally what has been happening in your business. You can use some examples of recent orders or just take average order sizes. But you could also hypothesize and ask or play out scenarios like, what if we could get a lower cost of goods from our supplier if we agree to buy more at a time? Or what if we use a different shipping method that's not as expensive to us? Or what if we stop doing free shipping in exchange for some type of a flat rate shipping model where we just collect $5 that covers at least some of our shipping cost? But break even is kind of the core principle behind all of this. Like, what does it look like to just break even on an order, which of course we don't want to do. But then you start to play with the different scenarios, making it sort of laying out the scenario surrounding what would optimal profit look like, what does realistic profit look like, and what actions can we take to achieve that. So break even is going to be pretty important for you to understand. It's going to help you know what your gross margins are before marketing, and then you can plug in variables like cost, cost of goods, shipping cost, realistic cost per acquisition for marketing, and so on. And again, these are all vital things to play out in terms of scenario playing and break even analysis before you get serious about trying to scale your business. There's some orders that are happening right under your nose that are quietly hurting your profit. Again, unit level economics modeling will help you with that and looking at real actual orders. And there's ways to do that too. You should be looking at your raw data from Shopify, which, by the way, as long as you have product cost inside of the product record, there are reports in Shopify that will show you how much revenue you collected for that particular item and what the cost of goods was for that item. And that at least gives you a high level of just that single unit. And then, of course, you can roll this data up into the entire order to incorporate shipping, profit and loss, and so on. But there might be some heavier products in your portfolio that are sort of quietly less profitable than you realize, possibly because the shipping cost is way higher than you believe it was. Um, there could be some discounts that you're running that are maybe they're running in perpetuity. You got a sale price or a discounted price, and they've been in there for several months now. And you like the added revenue volume, but behind the scenes, the profitability is far lower than you may understand. Possibly there's a lot of small orders that are happening. So it's, as an entrepreneur, you may feel good about the order volume, but possibly those small orders are not contributing a whole lot to your bottom line and that you're kind of spinning your wheels, tying up your resources that you could be putting towards getting larger orders with a lot more profit baked into them. Paid traffic is really important to understand. Again, Google Ads, Meta Ads, and so on. Really vital to understand how much you're paying for those orders on average, how many of all of your orders are coming from these paid channels, and how does that all map out in terms of your overall acquisition cost on average per order. And even bundling, there could be some scenarios where you're bundling products. And from your standpoint, it's great because you're getting some products off the shelf and customers are satisfied. But if you really dig into the profit and loss using this unit economic modeling, maybe not as good as you think it is. Overall, use unit level economics to really better understand your business and help you make better decisions. It might guide you toward certain cases of raising prices on particular products. If the value is there, if the market demand is there, if the competition lets you get away with it, the first thing that you may observe is, wow, what if I were to add just $1 or $2 to this? What does that make this all look like? And you may be pretty surprised about how much more favorable it all becomes. It may guide you towards making some adjustments with your shipping. Modeling it this way may really emphasize, well, free shipping is crushing us, or we're not charging enough for shipping, or we're charging too much, or so on. So just modeling this and looking at actual orders and playing scenarios will really help you dial in your shipping game. It's going to help you improve your product margins. Again, it might lead you down the road of if I bought a lot more from my supplier, maybe they'll give me a break, 10%, 15% less cost of goods, and that might fundamentally change the entire model of your some of your core product lines. It will also help you understand your packaging and fulfillment costs. It may help you take another look at, wow, current state, we're putting a big percentage of all of our sort of order level costs is going towards our packaging. Is there a better way? Can we buy in volume to get a lower unit price on our boxes? Is there something besides boxes, maybe bags? What are our alternatives here? And it all starts with being aware of it. Overall, the better you are at dialing in your unit economics, you can possibly allocate more of your sort of profit margin toward acquisition, meaning marketing. And you could reallocate some of that savings back towards driving even more volume to your website to buy even more products, and then hopefully come back and return and repeat order over and over again. It can definitely be overwhelming. A lot of data here, especially when we talk about do it for every product, do it for product categories, do it for the average order size, do it by channel, not just your website on Shopify, but maybe others like Amazon. There's a lot to it. Do it in reality, do actual orders, and then also do hypothesis of what if we could lower this or that or raise prices and so on. But to start, just run the math on 10 recent orders. It could be the last 10 orders that you received. Take those orders, either hand key it into a spreadsheet or export the raw data out of Shopify, and just take a snapshot of your most recent 10 orders and get your arms around what did that look like from a gross profit standpoint. What are the unit economics for these orders? And let that dictate what to do next. You may be pleasantly surprised. It may be a good representation of your entire portfolio of products, or maybe the past 10 were biased towards one particular product. But nonetheless, I'm guessing you'll see some good insight just from doing the first 10 or the most recent 10 orders. You'll see some good insight and some sort of next step directional observations that will come from that data. So put in the order revenue, product, and shipping, subtract your cost of goods sold, subtract your shipping costs, subtract your packaging costs, take out your processing fees, about 3%, subtract your marketing costs if you know that. If not, that could be another venture, is to go off and really analyze your run rate as far as cost per acquisition for any paid marketing channels. And then see what it tells you. Identify any products that are possibly losing money every time you sell them. And if that's the case, you got to either raise your prices, lower your costs, or just discontinue those products. Or it might help you identify some real rock star products that are really, really driving your profitability. And those would be the ones to lean into. Maybe even lower the price in order to get even more volume out of certain products. But it all starts with that analysis. Well, I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you so much.